Okay.
Alrighty. We are back with another episode of Bouch Bommentary. This time for episode 8, which
The
is the
finale.
season finale.
Wow. Yeah, sorry guys for the delay. What had happened was Hurricane Irma is a hoe. I just want to get that out the way. But we were supposed to record yesterday. But around 2 p.m. yesterday, I lost power. And the way Georgia operates, they just shut your lights off. It can be 2 drops of rain, they just gonna cut it off. And they have been taking their sweet black ass time cutting our lights back on. I've actually had to flee my house. I'm actually at my line sister's house right now recording. So I can get this done for y'all. I could have went to my auntie's house and just went to sleep and been cool. But I'm like, nah, I need to get somewhere where I can like record and be good. So
I was trying to send her to the library. So shout out to Line Sisters.
But honestly, I don't even know if the library had power because the library is by me.
Your area.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like, I got it. My mom was like, why are you so pressed to get this podcast? And I was like, Mom, I have to get this done. So this for y'all. Yeah, and I still don't have power. so I may have power tomorrow. They say my area is supposed to get back power tomorrow, but matters not. Sleepover tonight, and I'll be at work tomorrow. And we're going to have our questions on Wednesday. It's going to be We Grown Wednesday, but hopefully we have the same kind of participation. So, yeah.
Yeah. Just real quick, in the wake of all the hurricanes, Irma, Harvey, Jose, and that is currently in sea.
I don't know what happened to Katia. I didn't hear nothing about her.
I think she's the last one.
Okay. I'm saying, but I don't know what
H-I-J-K.
No, I know, but Katia was in the Gulf, but I haven't heard anything else, really.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just praying for everyone affected, especially in Florida. We know we have a huge following in Florida, especially, in Tallahassee. And so, a lot of people without power. My younger brother actually had to evacuate Florida. So a lot of people in both Florida and just the whole Southeast are without power. So we're praying for you all and hoping, this episode and our past episodes have been able to bring you all some joy and kind of some relief in what may be a difficult time. But, once again, thank you for your support. Man, what a good real quick, I was going to call you Molly. I'm so sorry. Melanie.
Don't you ever in your life.
Well, she's falling for this tall, light-skinned man. Y'all have that's
tall, light-skinned man that I love belongs to me. So, and he's definitely not married. So, don't put that on me, honey.
Very true. But I just wanted to, real quick, what did you think of the way the episode was set up in terms of the 3 different perspectives over the same 30 days?
I really liked it. I really did, because it was more of a kind of fill in the blanks. Because at first I was confused because I'm like, okay, I was having some technical difficulties with HBO now. So I'm like, am I tripping? Why is it saying Lawrence? Did I miss something? And then it was like, okay, why did Issa say this? Okay, what happened? So you kind of got to fill in the spaces as it went along. So I really liked that and see different point of views. So I think that was a brilliant way of setting the episode up.
I did. I thought I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know my lady, she didn't too much care for it, but I thought it was dope. And just, you see how the same thing, something will happen to all of us, or we're all there, and it's like, but we all react to it differently, or all affects us differently. So let's start. First scene is first we start with 30 Days with Lawrence, and we see that he's running a marathon with his coworkers from Meridian. So Aparna's there, a young white lady, and the heavyset white guy. I think one more person was running with him. And as he's running, he sees Issa and Molly to the side looking at a phone.
Right.
And initially, I thought he was, delusional.
Yeah, because they do that a lot on this show.
Yeah, I was like, that was weird.
And then I know, I don't know if he heard her, we heard her. When she was like, oh, he got a beard, that's what's up. So maybe he was like, oh, she thinking about a nigga or something like that. You know, how insecure he is.
And so he takes off running. Well, he's insecure.
He goes faster.
Yeah, the love of his life cheated on him.
I mean, but he's still insecure. So,
So this episode was moving very fast because it was covering the same events, 3 different perspectives. So we don't even see him finish the marathon. We immediately go to him in the kitchen cooking with Aparna at his place 3 days later.
And I rose the question, first of all, like, was he cooking like this with Issa? Because, I mean, he cooked that one time they spilled on the couch. People pointed that out to me. But I was like, I don't think it was that extravagant. He was like, we stuffed salmon in. I'm like, well, I guess he didn't have grocery money like that because he probably went to Whole Foods for that stuff, the same place where he met the white girls who ran a train on him. So
yeah, he didn't have the money for the ingredients, and then two, he was depressed, so he wasn't in the mood to cook. But he did try to cook for her once he was pulling out of his funk.
He should have cooked for her on her birthday. She was probably looking forward to that. Like, dang, I wish he would make his stuffed salmon for my birthday, and then he forgot. But we're not gonna talk about season 1 stuff. We passed that. My bad.
Right. Right. So then Aparna was like, can I get a piece of that? And she's talking about
his genitals.
Lawrence
like, piece of this
in a sexual matter.
I'm just like,
and
meanwhile,
I'm gonna be honest. I thought we were gonna see a sex scene between Lawrence.
I think
and Aparna
we've seen his booty
season.
cheeks enough, and
no, we've seen Droz enough.
That too.
But
we've seen both of their booty cheeks, but I
was hoping to see some Aparna.
I didn't want to see fake ass Maya naked. I can speak for a lot of people. We didn't want to see fake ass Maya naked. Like, we've got enough.
You can speak for a lot of women.
Whatever. It was enough. We get it. They fucking, like, they didn't have to spell it out. But, like, that was one thing we fill in the blanks on our own. We didn't need to have that spelled out. The condoms, or whether or not Candace knows, those were, yeah. But we know they fucking, we're grown. Like, that's pretty clear.
So then we.
Oh wait, they were talking. She was trying to get him to join the other team, the other app team, instead of trying to come up with something on his own. So that was an interesting little work conversation.
But I because he just real quick on that, because he was saying, like, man, it felt really good to lead something. Like, it got him motivated to, like, man, I want to lead again. Let me go ahead and start thinking of another idea to pitch and get in development. And she was like, whoa, slow down, cowboy. Why don't you join another team so you can see how you would do things differently? And at first he was a little resistant, but we find out later he took her advice.
Yeah, he did. She was right.
And some people were like, see, he didn't listen to he didn't want to listen to the black woman Issa, or Lawrence has an issue listening to women, because he was resistant to it at first. And I felt like more so Lawrence he's just a dreamer. He has big ideas, grandiose ideas. And so he, oftentimes women, at least in this case, the women he was interacting with, they were trying to say, go with something a little more secure and not as, just as dope and as grand.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I don't like them, so.
I mean, they were solid. I'm saying sometimes they were solid advice, but his mindset is to go big or go home. So anyway, we see Aparna and Lawrence at dinner at some little Mexican restaurant. They're talking about work, and she tells him, like, I heard from Colin, it's going really well. He was like, oh, what did you hear from Colin since y'all are so close? Now, Colin is the cat that we saw earlier in the season eating crickets that we found out Aparna had slept with,
because she's
when they were trying to get him to start up Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's my thing with fake ass Maya, because I sat back and I watched all the episodes again. I forgot about that point. I'm like, so she's like a serial office hunter. Yeah, like you just hunch everybody that's new. And I'm like, as soon as they get a new hire, Aparna gonna be on that new wave. And that troubles me. It's like, it's one thing to hunch one coworker, but it's a hunch too. And it's not like they have a big office, because we only see the same 10 employees. So you don't fuck at this point. You don't fuck 20% of the company. Like, damn.
So one, I think that, like, I remembered that she had slept with another coworker, so I was so surprised that Lawrence kind of was quick to cuff her. I think, part of it was him not
in public. He's good for that. He is good for that.
and them, like, and her giving him, like, the truth about his app, so, like, he kind of, like, confided in her and, like, felt a connection with her. But one thing she says during the dinner is, like, he's like, you two had sex. Like, she was like, oh, he was like, nah, y'all are close. She was like, not even. He was like, but you two had sex. Like, you literally cannot.
Close, right?
Right. And I'm like, that's a whole mentality.
Or that's just somebody grown. I mean, you don't have to be close. Like, I don't have to be blood, blood brother and sister and share a soul to have sex with each other. Like, some people just have sex. And I mean, I will say this.
male or female, I apologize. In my opinion, that's a hoe mentality.
It's not. I mean, but
So, I said my opinion.
You already know what I'm finna sing. Problematic Rodney. No, but I mean, that's true though. Like, you don't. I mean, not necessarily everyone you have sex with don't have to be your husband. Some people just want to have sex with somebody, and that's it. That don't mean y'all besties. Y'all just were sexually attracted to each other. But one thing I will say about Aparna, which is going to go into our next point, but she may be a fake ass Maya, but she is a real ass bitch. I'll give that to her. I'll let her have that.
Well, I thought that one line about, you know, just like sex is like us having sex doesn't mean we're close, and how Lawrence was like, that's literally you can get no closer to someone. You know, it to me, it just highlighted his, you know, his mindset. And remember when he was trying to be, you know, this bad boy with the stripper at the end, you know, in the season finale last year. And then, you know, he was trying to do that threesome with the white girls. You know, we are constantly reminded that, you know, Lawrence, and we can, from his material kind of possessions, we can kind of assume that he came from a well-to-do, you know, family. He comes from money. He's used to seeing two people, you know, together for a while. And so in his mind, sex is a thing that you do when you have a connection with someone.
He could have fooled me these past couple months, but I mean, whatever.
But we've seen how he hasn't been made for that life.
Yeah, he's not about that life. He really isn't. But he also contradicting himself because, you know, I could be telling him the same thing. Barney could flip that. Sometimes, oh, so you're close with Becky and Kaylee from Whole Foods, or I mean, who bought your Coronas and played the weekend? So now you're close. So you close with Tasha, who cookout you didn't finish going to, and you haven't heard from him since. Me, I'm still mourning the fact that we didn't see Tasha again. Like, I'm very upset about that. But whatever. I mean, I think we should have some closure with that. Maybe she'll come back next season.
I'm kind of hoping she does.
Like, I feel like she's been a pretty big character, even though she wasn't a main character. She was a really big part of the plot.
Right, because I think she helped. She was so instrumental in Lawrence coming to a really deep realization about himself and his behavior.
And, you know, since he's making stuff right, he need to make stuff right with Tasha too.
True. So while they're at dinner, he sees Molly and Quentin, and, you know, he kind of gets upset for a second, but then he refocuses.
But I don't understand why he would be mad at Molly though. Like, I can understand why Molly was mad when she looked at him, but I don't see how he would be mad looking at Molly, or just because she's just a reminder.
It's just yeah, you know, and then that's your girl's best friend, so you know she been talking smack about you.
Should.
Your girl cheated on you. Your girl cheated on you. You don't know if her best friend was like, girl, F that dude, cheat on him, he ain't S. You know, you don't know what role she played.
I mean, if he was going to be mad then, he wouldn't have came up and spoke to her when she was fake at his job. Like, if he was that mad about it. Think about it.
I mean, but, you know, he since has had the altercation with her. And you know.
I mean, I guess.
Well, altercation with Issa, you know, where she talking about, you know, I supported your depressed ass, and he got more going than you, you know, so, like, those words hurt, and he may say, like, is Molly feeling like this? You know, they didn't talk about it, whatever.
I guess, and then he did see the picture, because Molly was in the picture with Daniel, too. So he probably mad at all her friends. Yep. But then, also, he was at the dinner, and he wasn't acting really stank at the dinner. He was more awkward than anything.
Well, he had Oh, man, I'm so glad you brought the dinner. Maybe I should save it for the next episode. What? I was thinking, like, you know, like, everybody was talking about how tasteless it was of Lawrence to bring Aparna to the dinner. Point blank, period. But maybe he was doing it on some, I'm going to be hella petty after you brought the nigga you were fucking and cheated on me with to your job fundraiser.
Well, she didn't bring him. She didn't invite him.
But he doesn't know that.
I want to say that she said that in their final, like, argument. She's like, I didn't know he was going to be there. Remember?
Maybe I don't recall that.
I want to say she was like, I didn't know he was going to be there. She's like, you have that nigga in my face? And she's like, I didn't know he'd be there. Remember?
I genuinely don't recall.
Yeah, I think that was part of the conversation, I want to say. So, yeah. Or, I mean, I guess another, if you want to use that stance, it could kind of be like him coming to career day. But she hadn't hunched him yet at career day.
But I don't think he knew about career day.
I mean, he didn't have a career to go to career day.
No. I'm saying I don't think he knew Daniel came to career day.
I wanted to say that was part of the conversation too. So, yeah, I don't think. But another point some people made, because first off, I forgot to mention this. Thank you guys so much for answering the questions. Like, the Bouch Bommentary questions were Liddy 7,000 last week.
Liddy Two
Phone was freezing and overheating and all of that jazz last week. So that was super lit. We had last Bouch Bommentary was the most successful episode of Bouch Bommentary and our second most popular episode ever. So
top 3. It's tied for
but
top
that's
3.
in a week. So it's definitely going to be.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Think about it. Because the other episode's been there for at least, 6-7 months. So.
Yeah. Well, 1 is our first episode.
Oh, our first episode and then Greek and then Bouch Bommentary, huh? Whatever the case may be, it was lit. It was really lit. So thank you guys so much. So make sure y'all share and, give to your friends. Second, I forgot what point I was even trying to make. What was I going to say? Dang.
We were talking about them.
A point that people were making was like, even if he didn't know it was a sit down type party, before you bring anybody with you, you're supposed to check in. That's just common courtesy. Like, hey, I got my little god sister with me. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I made that point too.
Yeah, he's still raggedy for that. Even if it wasn't on no petty stuff, it was still raggedy.
Okay. So moving forward, we see. Fake ass Maya. We see Lawrence looking at a plate of cookies walk by, and then he catches Aparna and Colin laughing once again, and he, his face turns to anger, and he feels some type of way about this. After that, we go to him.
Unpack. He's insecure as hell. He's seeing fake ass Maya and Colin just giggling and talking, just usual work banter. I had watched it with the subtitles. They were talking about something so stupid, but it was just like, what's so funny, nigga? Like, niggas hate when you laugh at another nigga jokes. I don't understand why. Like, y'all both like, I don't understand.
Because men. Hold on, I want to unpack that once we get to the last scene of Lawrence little thing. All right. So after this work thing, we see Lawrence at his house with now Derek and Chad, and it's my belief that this is kind of the first time, or like one of the very few times, that Chad and Derek interact with each other.
That is true.
And they're helping Lawrence mount his TV. He bought like this 60-something inch screen, flat screen. They're helping him. He was like, "Yo," and Derek, and they're saying like, "Congrats to Derek." Well, Chad says, "Congrats to Derek. That's big." But
we still don't really know what he's congratulating him for.
Right. And Lawrence is like, "Yo, can y'all use 2 hands, my nigga? Don't break my TV."
And then Chad pettily goes and puts his hand on the top. I love Chad. He's the best.
Chad's my favorite. And so once they get the TV mounted, they have a few brews and sit down and watch Due North. Derek just tells us, hey, yeah, this is Tiffany's show. Like, she over at Issa's watching it. And then he asks her, he like solicits their advice about Aparna. Oh no, Chad asked about Jasmine. He's like, "How's Jasmine?" He's like, "Her name is Aparna." Now the funny thing is,
it was funny because
go ahead.
Aladdin.
Oh.
I immediately made that connection, like Jasmine from Aladdin, which is like slightly racist but hilarious. And then Neil retweeted it when I said it, so that kind of like confirmed it.
Oh, I thought they wrote it in part because Jasmine is actually her real name. The actress's real name, yeah.
Oh well, whatever.
I
guess.
And so he's like, she's cool. I just got to work with her ex. And they're like, "Wait, you got to work with her ex?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's not a big deal, but they be kikiing at work." And, as your boys will do, nah, nigga, you got to shut that down. You can't be out here letting these hoes play you for stupid.
Right.
Especially given his last situation where Issa, cheated on him with some dude that was from her past and, had him out here looking stupid.
True point. Very true.
And so, it's always just funny when the guys get together. Derek is talking about how, like, yeah, man, Tiffany, there was this dude at Tiffany's job, Fred and I had a talk, and Fred ain't there no more. Here little light-skinned Derek laying the law down for his wife.
Like, if you don't get your S-curl side part on, ain't nobody scared of you.
And Chad goes, like women don't need male friends. It's just extra dick around for no reason. And I totally agree with Chad. Chad is my spirit animal, dog. Chad be telling the truth.
Y'all can be trash together. Is that so we can't have male friends because just be extra dick around? I don't.
Well, I think I will dive into, like I said, we're gonna dive into a little more this next scene, where we see Lawrence and Aparna on a date night in his car, stuck in LA traffic.
Right.
She's laughing at her phone. Lawrence accuses her of would Colin text you, or like make some sly remark that he didn't really want her to hear, but he said it. And she's like, wait, what?
Yeah, Colin must be funny. Like,
and she's like, it's my sister. My niece put a plate of syrup on her head and called it a hat. That's what I'm laughing at.
She's like, it's not funny. It's cute. I was like, she might be a real bitch. She gives like a real Alicia Keys, like low-key bulldagger vibe. A little bit. Somebody in them questions, somebody was like, Aparna is a lesbian. Mark my words. And I was like,
I'm not even going to lie. Like, when we first met her, how she dressed, it was like, she got it was like, dang, she got a body under there, but she don't be rocking
fake ass
it
might
right.
lick some coochie before. I believe it.
And then, but when we saw her like on the counter sitting there, I'm like, that's like the most feminine we had really ever seen her.
So she kind of came out of it. But you called him and Aparna getting together a long time ago. You peeped.
I think I called it like when he didn't go to Tasha's reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And we called something else an episode or two ago. We'll get to that at the end. But she basically was like, yo, like you're wild, and like he was like, no, I don't like liars. I don't want to be out here looking stupid. And here go a partner like, no, you making yourself look stupid. You got to deal with your shit. He like, I ain't got no shit to deal with. And Issa calls him, and she's like,
there go your pile of shit right there. I said, okay. And that's what I'm saying. She may be a fake ass Maya, but she a real ass bitch. She saw the red sign. She's like, no, thank you. I'm good. I'll catch Uber. She
hopped her little ass out the car.
She got her Indian ass up out that car.
Now as a man, I'm Lawrence Hive all day. Ugh. So him being insecure about the Colin thing, like I said, I get it. Given like his relationship with Issa, and I agree with everybody. It is toxic to just be. I hate some passive aggressive stuff. It's just childish. Even though I do it from time to time, so I hate it, but I have to fight that spirit in me. So I try to be better. Mm-hmm. But Lawrence, instead of being passive aggressive, I don't know if him and Aparna's relationship was kind of on this level. Like, yo, my fault about the whole jealousy thing. My ex has cheated on me, and it's still fucking with me. I'm gonna try to chill, but like just give me some time. I don't know if they could have. I don't know if they were at a place in that relationship or whatever they were doing where they.
But I'm sure she knows enough to. But it's like, I know your situation, but don't put that shit on me because I'm not her.
And that's why I'm saying, like, they weren't close enough. She didn't, like, they weren't deep enough in love where you would say, like, you know what, I get it. We gonna heal past that. We gonna get past that because, one, I'm not gonna be dealing with this, but two, I don't think this is enough for me to just drop this right now. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, the other thing I want to talk about is, just women was like, ooh, women all the time like, ooh, I hate a jealous dude. Ooh, that's so nasty. That's so ugly. But I know but then I have to ask women, because from personal experience myself, and then, the men, my LBs, frats, and, other Morehouse cats and other cats that I just know from, since middle school to now, our women talk about how, they hate to see a jealous dude. But yet your girl will come back and report to you like, yeah, I was out today, and like, 3 dudes try to hit on me, da 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 da. It's like, what? Why are you telling? Do you want me to?
It's not for you to be jealous. It's for you to be aware. Like, niggas want me, nigga. Step your shit up, cause I'm fine as fuck.
But to me, that's child. Like that's you want me. You want to enact some jealousy in me. Like, what? They was hollering at you. Where was you at? What like what? You my girl.
I mean, you're not gonna go, to the location and wait for them niggas to walk by again and beat them up. Like, that's not realistic. But it's just to put you on notice, like, hey, I can do better. Like, I don't know. Just thinking of a woman, and I'm not trying to ruin your day, but I'm just trying to remind you what you have, because some niggas get comfortable. So I'm just trying to, like, hey, niggas, talk to me. I don't know. I'm just
childish.
Not to. I didn't say it wasn't.
Okay. And let's talk about women laughing at men's jokes. It is something that bothers many men. Especially if you have don't let no man give you no good hearty laugh. Like, what, you trying to get pregnant by dude? Like, what you doing?
I mean, like I said, I feel like we talked about this in the Friends episode. I laugh at everything. So, like, you can't really be like, I'm gonna laugh at everything. I'm goofy. That's what I do. So you can't really take it too personal if I'm laughing at another man's joke. Like, get over yourself.
But here's the thing. Like, women will, have a fit when, like, you as a man, you may crack a joke and you be like, why was homegirl laughing so much? It wasn't that funny. Why you turning it, why you turning to Kevin Hart when we get in front of people?
It's different than, like, laughing. Like, oh my God, Lawrence, you're so funny. Like, I'm laughing so hard because you're so, like, okay, bitch, just laugh and get your LOLs and go, bro.
Nah, women be like, why you turning Kevin Hart when she around? Nah, what? Why you so goddamn funny now?
It's
laughing at a man's joke is a very intimate act.
It's one thing, like, you can just laugh. Like, you ain't gotta have a whole, narration to your laugh. Oh my God, you're so funny, and you should go on tour because you're so funny. I would buy tickets, I'd be in front row, and I'll get back to stage passes, and you're just so funny. And I'm like, okay, bitch, like, it doesn't have to be all of that. Just laugh.
But I mean, what if she has a good hearty laugh? See, you always overdoing it. You stupid. Stop. You stupid. That's a laugh.
Like I said, I'm a laugher, so I can't even be mad. Like, if it's a hearty laugh, like, yeah, my nigga funny. That's why I'm with him. Laugh. I'm gonna be mad if you don't laugh.
And then, but like when a
laugh at my nigga joke, bitch.
When a woman, when your woman laughs at another man's joke, what you're communicating is that this man can command your attention, and that arouses a little jealousy in some men. That's just
if that's gonna make you that mad, you're insecure. You need to be single anyway.
Y'all say that, but it's not like we're gonna like, I gotta beat you. Like, it's like, why you giving this man so much? Because I think women underestimate men sometimes.
I guess.
Like, women really think like, no, he's really like a friend. Like, he only like really wants to be my friend. Sister, the moment you underhand toss him that box, he's going to catch it. He's going to run it in the end zone. He's going to secure it. He's going to,
I mean, niggas think like that whether you laugh at their jokes or not. So, because they're creeps.
No, I'm saying women think that men really want to be friends, and so laughing at their jokes, it's like, oh, it's an innocent thing. It's like, no, you giving.
No, I understand that. I'm saying, like, they you say hello and God bless you to a nigga after he sneezes, and he's like, yeah, I'm in there. Like, I'm gonna hit that. Like, no, nigga, you're not. Like, I have manners, or you were funny, like you said, knock knock.
Nigga mess up, and then I'm gonna be there.
Right. It don't take much for niggas to try to find that little loophole into your vagina. Like, no, it's not. It don't take jokes. Like, that's not the only thing.
Male friends, like Chad said, just extra dick around for no reason.
See, and this is what I feel like that's why you trying to dwell on this, because it's your personal feelings, and I just can't. Okay, so next, we're moving on. So
wait.
Next,
I have a question to ask you. I thought.
What, we haven't gone to the next.
Okay, real quick. How do you feel about your significant other being friends with an ex?
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with the people that I used to talk to, a handful, but I'm not like, hey, how was your Wednesday going? Like, no, I just, we cool. I'm not going to talk to you like normally, but oh, happy birthday. Oh, look at you. Got your master's degree or something like that. But it's like, it ain't got to be friends. Like, we ain't got to be besties. Like, oh my God, look who I'm with. It's not going to be all of that. Y'all can be cool.
Okay. All right. Let's move forward. We're going to move on to mine.
But what was your question? Because I feel like you was going to keep on trying to.
No. I was.
Well, nigga, how you feel about your significant other being friends with an ex?
Dead that.
Dead? Like
Like, there's no reason for y'all to
But
be
I don't
friends.
have exes, and neither that's my boyfriend, so we don't have that kind of problem.
And I say, like, there's no reason for y'all to be friends, because at the same time, like, I would never, like, come to my woman and be like, I'm going to be friends with my ex. Because I think, you know, it's just like the fact that y'all have history and y'all had an intimate connection. I wouldn't even want to introduce that insecurity into my relationship or you know, and put that on my woman. Mm-hmm. You know, so I just would ask for the same thing in return. You know, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we not friends, we could be cool. Like, I'm not gonna block every ex just because I'm in a new relationship. It's like, you know, hey, cool, what's up? Type.
Here's my, but that's my thing. Like, I will remain cordial with an ex in public. There's no need for communication outside of, like, we both at homecoming and walk past each other. If we acknowledge each other, then that's my thing. I feel like out of respect for my girl, like, that's, you know, that's what you do. Like, I would ask for the same. Some people feel differently. Some people like, well, no, like, nah, we friends now, we cool. It's like, but why would, you know, like, this is a person like you had sex with, like, you had dreams of accomplishing stuff with. Like, why would, you know, in some cases, what?
And like I said, I don't have exes like that, and neither does my boyfriend. So we don't. So I really wouldn't know. Like, oh my God. So if me and my boyfriend broke up and then I had a new boyfriend, then it would be like I can't really talk to him like that because So. Okay. So what are we?
Yeah, we're moving on to Molly. We're back at.
No. Oh. But you know, Issa calls him, and then it fades, and then you just see him walking into the dunes.
Yep.
And like walking in the door, and then it cuts to
real quick. When we see him walking into the dunes, we see these two white men heading towards the pool. You know, just once again, you know,
just droplets of gentrification.
Yeah, Insecure letting us know, like, this area is being gentrified like a mug. We didn't talk about that at the beginning. Maybe we'll talk about it when we get to Issa, but.
Oh yeah. The intro to the episode was her, right?
Yeah, it was her.
Am I tripping?
Walking. She was getting some froyo, which we learned in the last episode used to be a Popeyes. Mm-hmm. And she was walking down the street, and this woman was like, you know, here's a coupon for some cold brew coffee. You know, she's like,
just everything just super white, everything's under construction.
Yeah,
that's why I thought my thing was messing up, because I'm like, I just was seeing Issa. What are we talking about Lawrence for?
True.
So yeah. So just is basically showing they're calling it Iwood now instead of Inglewood. So just showing
how they're
gentrifying Inglewood, and
when they gentrify things, they rebrand it. They change the name.
Right. So it sounded less black and less intimidating.
Yeah, they try to take away what was so black, you know. Here, we're in Iwood, you know. One of my LBs in New York was like, yeah, like, insert, you know, when I go out with my coworkers, they call, you know, certain parts of Harlem Soha, as in Southern Harlem.
That is ridiculous.
You know, just all this rebranding going on. And, you know, my other LB had a funny joke. Anytime they throw historic in front of your community's name, just know some white people about to come running with their dogs.
That too, and it's like they call it historic because they can't tear it all down. They'll just put a meeting in the street and put a Whole Foods.
Well, they try to give it this lore of, like, not violence, but it's historic, you know. And
niggas have been getting killed here for centuries.
Right. Well, before the niggas messed it up, it was really nice.
Right, which is ridiculous. That's what they did to Coconut Grove, like historic Coconut Grove. And some stuff they can't, tear down because it's historic. So they kind of like build around it or, rebrand. So, okay, so Molly,
our girl Molly. So we see Molly at the, once again, so now we're seeing, it's kind of all starting at the marathon. We see Molly with Issa at the marathon to support Kelly. We find out Kelly's running. And
that she's been training for months and they had no idea.
Yep. And so from there we is once again moving very fast. We see that
because then we have to talk about Derek and Tiffany walking up all late, and like we have a good reason. So they're like dropping the little breadcrumbs of why they were. She's like, we have a good reason to be late. Being actually, they're like, oh well, Kelly just texted us and said she's at the finish line. They're like, dang, she finished already.
She got Kenyan in her.
Right, she got Kenyan. And then we cut to the black law firm.
Yep, where Molly is now on an interview. Like we kind of learned last time, she was going to take some interviews with some law firms. Once again dealing with that pay discrepancy at her job and them kind of like shutting down her first attempt to ask for a raise. Now she's like, I'm gonna go get some offers and then bring them back to him. But she goes, we see her on this interview with this black law firm. They say, hey, Molly, you know, on paper we were impressed with you, but, you know, having you here, you know, we love you. You know, you look great. And after that, we see her at dinner with Quentin at the Mexican spot that Lawrence saw her at.
Right. So we see from her perspective, and she sees him. And no, well, first she's with Quentin, and they're just talking, and she's saying how she got the offer and how she's just going to pile up offers and present them to the partners. And then she sees Lawrence and got an attitude, and he was like, "What's wrong with you?" And then he was like, Quentin was like, "Oh, you know, you see a guy that you used to know. I'm surprised." What was he saying? Something like.
So Molly was like, "Oh no, I just saw someone I used to know." He was like, "Well, you know, no wonder everybody in here checking you out. You the most beautiful woman in here." Right. You know, really laying his Mac down on it, like, you know, "Molly, you're amazing. You are a goddess." You know, laying some real shea butter. You
lame
know,
nigga game,
oh my God.
Yeah, got that lame game.
And she goes, and he's like, you know, "Hey man, I really appreciate you taking me out. You know, next time you're in Chicago, take one of those nights off, and I'm going to take you out to dinner." And she goes, "Well, I got to eat. You know, thanks, homie." And like kind of.
She said homie like so hard. It's like, you don't have to do it that hard, sis. Like, we.
And you know.
It's real, though, because sometimes you got to drop them hints when you don't really want to, like, all right, buddy, broham, brethren. You got to kind of, no, nigga, you got to kind of slide it in there. But it's Molly, though, because she ain't shit. And
so, next scene is Molly is back at her therapist, and she's discussing Quentin, and she's telling the therapist how, like, I only see him as a homie. And so the therapist's like, "Well, why unpack that? Like, why? You know, he's just not my type. He just doesn't seem like the type of guy I should be with." And, like, they addressed that earlier this season. Like, Molly really lives in the, like, how my life should be. And she's like, you know, "Molly, don't live so much in the should, but think about what could be."
Mm-hmm. And then she's like, "I swear I've never seen that before." But it kind of, she's like, "I swear I never said that before," because it kind of flowed, like, real rehearsed. But she's like,
it was on some real Johnny Cochran, you know, if the glove doesn't fit, you must quit. You know, like, girl, you just say this to every black woman that come in here having man problems.
Who say shit a lot. But yeah, I thought it was good. But then everything that she just paid this therapist for, Dro light-skinned ass texts her, "I miss you." Raggedy. He probably sent 4 more of them hoes out to other bitches. Just because he just...
pulling up from deep like Steph Curry.
But I'm not going to talk shit about Dro because I have some new findings this past week. Some new developments in my Dro case. And this nigga 6'8". So I get it. I can't even be mad at Molly fully no more because that nigga 6'8". How many 6'8" niggas you know? There's plenty Dro to go around. That nigga 6'8". Look, I can take 3 foot 4 inches of him. You could take 3 feet 4 inches of him, Candace. We can share. We can rotate.
That's why he's in an open marriage? He's like, "Baby, I'm 6'8".
Because there's plenty of that nigga. I'm 6'8". I could, look, it's LA is big enough for the both of us. For everybody to have me. Nigga, I'm 6'8". That nigga 6'8". I don't know if I said it enough.
Is that his job? Is he 6'8" for his job? Like, the character?
Because we still don't know what he does for a living. So I think he might just be 6'8" for a living because it would pay my bills. Shit. I'll pay him. "Excuse me, sir, you 6'8"? Here is $400 for today. You get whatever you want. Drink your milk and all your vitamins and shit." But that nigga is 6'8", bruh. Do you know anybody that's 6'8"?
The tallest I know is like 6'6".
Well, the nigga ain't 6'8", and that nigga 6'8". Like, he don't even look 6'8". Is everybody else on the show just tall as fuck? Because I couldn't.
Actually, I know a cat 6'10".
No, you don't. You just made that up. I don't believe
No.
you.
My younger brother's tail.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that nigga 6'8".
I'll send you the picture.
But I was reading the Essence article and it said this 6'8" heartthrob. I said, "Excuse me, 6'8".
You had to wipe the drool off your face. Oh,
shit,
sorry.
6'8" with hair like that. Fuck. Yeah, I didn't know. So now that I know that he's 6'8", all my questions about Dro have been answered. Is he fine? Yes, that nigga 6'8". Should Molly be fucking him? Yes, that nigga 6'8". So, like, you got it, Molly. I mean, you still dumb, but he's 6'8", so I can't be all the way mad. Like, how tall is the cast for me not to notice that he was 6'8"? So it makes sense for Sterling to have been like...
Lawrence is pretty tall.
Yeah, Lawrence is like 6'4". So I guess so. He made Lawrence look short, I guess. And that's why Sterling's like, "Oh, he's really tall." And she was like, really? I didn't notice. You notice when somebody's 6'8". And I was doing some
Yeah,
research,
I
and
feel like
he
that
is
was
Panamanian. And he has a brother who is fine. He ain't 6'8", but his brother fine too. Anyway.
So anyway, we see Quentin and Molly working late in Chicago. Molly's explaining something, how they can win the case or something.
They try to celebrate.
And he says, I think we need some incentive, which I thought was like the wrong word.
I guess like,
because incentive would like say like, all right, we're gonna do a little more work, then we're gonna have this drink. But then he basically pulls out some Hennessy and 2 glasses, and I
thought that was so niggerish, because it's like like, don't niggas usually have like, not niggas, but like people who have alcohol in the office have like scotch or something. Like, you got hen in the office, like, and half a bottle of hen too. So you've been drinking it.
Oh, you know what? You just made me realize what's even more niggerish about it. He just had the bottle of Hennessy. Like, most people have, I forget what it's called, but where you put the scotch in a separate glass holder.
You put the scotch in like a glass bottle. To pour. Like, no, he got the whole bottle like straight from the liquor store.
This nigga just has a regular bottle of Hennessy.
Like, that nigga stole it from the section and put it in his pocket and took it home with him and then put it in his office. Like, that's so niggerish. Like, that is the blackest thing. Like, don't nobody say that when they come in his office. Like, oh, Quentin, you have the Hennessy on. Like, nigga, put it in a shit. I don't know what it's called, but put it in
you
something.
Stressed, Quentin?
Contain it.
Yes, I'm stressed. That's what...
a whole, and it wasn't even full. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a half bottle. So you just drinking Hennessy straight in the middle of the day?
It came from the day party he went to last week.
Like, that was just so black. But yeah, they started drinking the Hennessy straight. They started talking about family. And he was like, so is everybody in the Carter family so successful? And she was like, my brother's 26 and he doesn't know how to drive. And my older brother is married to a stripper.
Which she shouldn't, as much as she out here hoeing, she shouldn't be shaming nobody.
At least she getting paid for having her pussy out.
Who said that stripper ain't getting paid?
No, I'm saying at least the stripper getting paid. And then he was saying his sister sells flat tummy tea on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's selling flat tummy tea, that's not your only hustle. But it's clearly something about you made them want to reach out to you to sell flat tummy tea. So she got to at least be selling like the little drawstring bras or like waist trainers or like.
And she's got to be cute.
She's got, so she's probably a model. Probably got some shoots. Might be like a bottle girl or something. She might have. She might rap.
And you sitting here with this pastor body.
And being a lawyer, she gonna need you though at some point.
All right. Well, you should be getting some flat tummy tea to get the pastor body and, taken care of.
That's hilarious.
But they literally take one. The fact that they were drinking it straight and they had so much, I was like, oh, I can't do that. Not in the office.
Yeah, they were drinking like a lot. Like, I would need like some Coke on the side or just a whole bunch of
right. When it wasn't no shot, it was like
they just put a little squiggly straw in that thing and just went to work. I'm like, oh nah, being a lawyer must be hard because they was drinking that like Capri Suns. No wonder.
That's why the bottle was half empty.
That part, and that's why everything just went so fast afterwards because they started talking and then they put the cup down. Or the glass down.
Well, Molly
did. Yeah.
Molly grabbed. She's like,
and I watched it again. Like I like watching the episodes twice, and I put on closed captions so I could read and make sure I didn't miss anything. And the way it happened, I was just like, Molly, sis. Like, first off, kudos for giving him a chance, but there are so many other ways of giving him a chance that didn't involve giving him the pussy. Like, you gotta crawl before you walk with chances with niggas. Like, let him eat you out. See what he working with. Get a little, maybe finger action or something. Like, just see what, cause you hop right into it. You don't get to see like how he groove, and then I could tell by the way his pants went down. I was like, oh, this ain't gonna be good. He kind of like, I mean, it happened fast. He didn't get a chance to prepare, but like he wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Molly clearly was ready, but like nobody was ready for that. In the office though,
his face was like,
so we doing this.
Like, this is
doing
really
this now.
happening.
You could tell he ain't never had no bad bitch pussy before. Like, you could tell. Like, he ain't never had it.
The way he pulled his pants.
He was just so like, okay. Like,
before she changed her mind. Hold on.
Right, like, before she come to, before the Henny wear off. Let me go ahead. Like, no, sir. I could tell. I'm like, oh, this ain't going to end well. This ain't going to be it. But I'm like,
Molly
it could have worked.
Her therapy.
It just, what are you saying?
I was gonna say her therapist should have clarified, like giving him a chance does not equal pussy, Molly.
But that's how Molly thinks. That's what she, she like a dude. She thinks with her vagina. Like she makes all her decisions with her labia.
We need to send Molly a copy of Devon Franklin and Megan Franklin's book, The Wait.
Nah, that ain't gonna work. That's gonna end up being a coaster. That's gonna be on that bookshelf she had the white man put together, and she's never gonna read it.
You know, Tiffany bought me this book, The Wait. And I ain't even gonna read it.
Well, Tiffany wasn't waiting. Well, you're gonna get to Tiffany later, but yeah, I just knew Quentin. It just didn't look. And then she was doing most of the work, so you couldn't even see how exactly. And then how much sex could you really have on a work couch? I don't know. His couch was right by the door. It was just too much. It was too much happening.
I mean, they were working late, so the assumption was like no one was gonna bother them.
I know.
You work on the couch, but he just wasn't in.
What's her name from Family Guy? Consuela. She was probably there. Mr. Quentin having sex with Miss Molly.
No.
But yeah, the sex just didn't look. It didn't have to happen. Like you didn't have to have sex with him right there. Like it could have been. You could have just let him take you to. You could have took him to dinner like he asked you to. You didn't have to fuck him.
Yeah, they could have. That's the. She need to pay us. She don't take the time to make deep emotional connections with people, which is why like the thing with Dro was so great because they had a long friendship and stuff.
Mm-hmm. They actually had a relationship, but they known each other their whole lives. Like she does it every time. She did it with Jared. She did it with Chris, Jadena, or whatever. She did this. Like it's a thing. And again, she could have just went to cheesecake. Got her some that brown bread, put some butter on it, had some conversation with this nigga, got her some, chicken Louisiana pasta, and talked to this nigga instead of fucking him with some Hennessy in the office. Like, it could have been so many different ways they could have done this.
Well, I think we've dissected this troublesome scene enough.
Yeah. I mean, just the way he pulled the pants down. Did you see it? Just watch it again. When you see it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
Low key, I know what you're talking
he
about.
He wasn't ready. And then his face was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm just like, oh, he's not good.
She gave me the pussy.
He probably hadn't had nothing in a while. Not some good, like, quality bad bitch poon in a minute. Okay, so
he had some church lady pussy last.
He probably had some pastor, right? He had some pastor pussy last time,
sister,
and not even mega church pastor pussy, like regular church, like school cafeteria building fund pastor pussy.
Oh God.
Okay, so Due North finale at Issa's out.
Mm-hmm.
So they talking about, where it's going with Quentin, and they was like, oh yes. So she was showing Issa Quentin when they were at the marathon. That's when she was.
That comes later.
Are you sure? No. Because she was like, pick please.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, pick please. And she's like, oh, that's what's up. He got a beard. So she was like, she was saying that he wasn't her type. So they were talking about him, and then Issa was like, so you basically saying the dick was men. And she's like, it wasn't men, but he makes me laugh. I was about, but like if it was Dro level, she would have been like, well, fuck Dro and his married ass, So clearly it wasn't that powerful.
So, question: What if the dick was just average, but he would have came with some fire head?
That's usually what happens with mediocre dick. So I've heard, but she wouldn't know that because she went straight for the dick. Like I said, baby steps. Find out about the head first. Okay, head's cool. All right, we can go to the next step. Okay, dick. Yeah, it's not that great, but I know the head's good, so it kind of evens. But but Molly wanted to fuck first, so she can't even get that luxury.
But you know what? Because Molly's not a fan of giving fellatio. She knows that like if she receives it, she's putting herself in a position where it may be expected.
But with a nigga like Quentin, he'll give out some free head. Listen, I'm telling you, let me eat you out. He'll ask you to do it. Look, I've heard things, okay?
You're terrible.
Okay. So.
Okay. So they discussed her job offers after Quentin.
And they're basically talking about the differences of being in a black workplace and then being in a white workplace. And then, Kelly being hilarious but still being right at the same time. Just talking about black people being too invasive and, like, invite you to church and shit.
Want to compare your potato salad.
Right. Like, what was she saying? Damn, what was the name she made? Damn, Therese.
Stop trying to baptize me at work.
Because every black person knows somebody named Therese, though. That's the funny part. And then
For the white
they were
people,
talking about working with white people.
She said, like, yes, I'm eating watermelon. It's hot.
And then she was just saying you got to explain your outfits and to make them feel comfortable around you, which is so true. Like, it's hard doing both. You got to have a nice little mix of black and white at work, honestly. If you only black person, it's like, but if you the same black person as everybody else, then it's like, so either way, you're going to be at work. There's no perfect work situation. There's a formula for it to be perfect, but that's not common.
They discuss how, so Kelly gets a call from Tiffany talking about, she not here, she not coming, but she still want to be in the mix or something.
So here's the gotcha. Okay, so Tiffany's pregnant. We know this. If you listen to this still, you know that. But they announced that at the marathon. And Derek was like, oh, Tiffany's at Issa's watching. But Tiffany don't show up at Issa's.
Hold on. I think we should unpack that later.
Okay, we can.
Okay.
We can. We'll table it.
But
Tiffany doesn't come. They were like, oh, she already being annoying and pregnant already. Which is like, that's what I'm like, this bitch pregnant. Ugh. She gonna be so extra. So extra.
So after, like, we find, Tiffany doesn't show or whatever, we see Molly sitting with her partners. And they tell her that, the LA law community is very small, and they heard that she's been interviewing. And she's very valuable to the firm, and they don't want to lose her. And they give her this cheap certificate called the Rising Star Award. And it's given to people who, the firm believes has a strong, has a bright future in the legal profession. And her picture will be featured on their website.
Permanently. Something they had the intern type up. Hey, Isabella, could you go in Word and get one of the certificate templates and then type this text and make it look really nice? Like, don't try me. Like, this is a piece of paper.
They made it up, because if you have this regular award, why isn't there like an award ceremony at the end of the year? Where
right,
like,
no dinner, some cloth napkin.
I get a certificate, a paper
in a manila folder. Y'all get mad. I hope she.
Because you don't want other people to see that y'all had made up some BS award for me.
Right. Permanently. Don't nobody look on a website, especially not people who work there. Like, thanks. Like, no. I hope she leave. Trash.
So, my assumption was after this, the decision was made for her that she was going to go work with the black people. But you think she may go take some more interviews?
Well, yeah, that wasn't her only interview. So,
okay.
She said she was making her rounds. I hope that she goes somewhere else with the money, or she ain't going to Chicago now with the pastor dick. So, yeah.
So,
the next scene.
Yep.
We see Molly in bed after sex with a condom wrapper.
Mm-hmm.
On the nightstand, but what I didn't notice, it was a Magnum condom wrapper. So 6'8". So yeah, and then Issa calls and she's like, "Oh shit, what happened?" So she gets up, and then then we go to Issa's 30 days. So let's unpack Molly real quick.
Okay.
The Quentin thing, it didn't have to happen like that. We already discussed that.
Yeah.
But with her whole job situation, I just feel like they playing her like, they do, which is crazy.
It was, I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't been in the workforce long enough to like be in a position where you're like clearly deserving of something, and
you're trying to climb the ladder and all that stuff. Yeah.
And these people just bend over backwards to give you everything but what you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, the first time they're like, we'll keep this for your yearly review. The next time they find out you taking interviews with people, now they had some intern print up a certificate. You don't even get a plaque. It's a mess. I pray to God she leaves. I pray that wherever she goes, that she is, she is very successful. One thing I'm curious is, if she will stay, because, one thing, like, she keeps talking about, like, her, like, when Quinn has suggested she leave before, she was like, but I just put in so much time here, and, I question if she, is this a big firm that, is a part of her successful,
to
persona?
be able to say she works at, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's, we know how Molly is and how she, all her shoulds. I should be working at a top firm and all that stuff. So I think, like on Mean Girl, she's rather be in plastics, hating life, than to not be in at all. So maybe that was the case. And then with her relationship with Dro, everything in Molly's life is just a mess right now, but so is everybody in the show. But, she's not really good at relationships, and you think that, her thing with Dro is like, because she's not good with relationships, and it's better than being lonely. You think, like, dang, I know he ain't shit, but I can roll up and have a warm spot. It's a warm body to hug on in my bed. You think,
we going to do this now, or we going to...
We can do this now. We can do it now.
So, what we find out later at the end of the episode is that...
Oh, you talking about that? But I'm just saying, period, with the I miss you text. Just the juggling of the I miss you, still messing with Quentin, or the mystery condom on the nightstand. Like all of that.
I felt like Molly probably, and the fact that she was back at therapy, I felt like she made an honest effort to move on. Now, I fully believe that she did not disclose to her therapist the Dro situation.
Because, her therapist would have read her rights.
Yeah. And I think that would have been worth a scene on screen. I think Molly is still messed up from her parents' thing. And that's
another thing. Did she talk to her therapist about that? Because I feel like that would be very worth talking to her therapist about. Like, you can talk about Quentin. That's small. She need to be talking about her parents' thing. That's what really needs to be unpacked. Quentin is a carry-on, but
that's her.
That parent situation, that's an overweight bag that needs to be unpacked.
Yeah, because I think she's still making some decisions off of the still being kind of knocked off her square about that. And even her mother's answer, I don't know if it was, I think it was good enough momentarily, but I think ultimately it lands her back in a position that we feel is detrimental for her in the long run. Mm-hmm. Talking about, he made me feel more special than he hurt me.
And then she probably related that to Dro's. Like, he makes me feel special. He makes me more special than he reminds me that he's married. Like, on some dumb shit. Yeah. And then I think, I try to do like the little Venn diagram of Dro and Quentin. And then, it just comes with niggas, period. When, like, the good guy and the nigga ain't no good. But the surefire sign is, does that nigga take you out? Does he take you out? Does he want to take you out? Does he make a conscious effort to take you out? Because think about it. Quentin been saying, let me take you out, take me out. Let's go to dinner. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's go, enjoy each other's company. The only time we've seen Dro and Molly in public is when they went to see the Lakers game together. And he ordered some fries and they ate half them bitches.
Ate them all, for real.
Yeah, and then ate the crispy ones, which is the utmost form of disrespect. Like, he don't give a fuck about you. He don't want to be seen. He wants y'all to look like friends. He ate the fries before you came, so it didn't look like a date. He don't want to be seen in public with you because, one, he got a wife, and two, he just don't give a fuck. Because if a nigga really got a wife and really want to be with you, he don't care. Look at Ghost and Angela. They was in Cuba, looking married. Miami. Mrs. St. Patrick robe and shit. So whatever.
All right, let's move forward to the meat and potatoes of the episode.
I'm not ready for this. We already hour in. We gonna be a while, but we owe y'all a good hearty episode. So yeah, let's do it.
So we see Kelly didn't finish the marathon
because she had on all white. They mentioned she had on all white, and she got her fucking period. And she got
her period mile 9 of the race, not like before the race where she could have like made some adjustments, but in the midst of the race at mile 9, she got it.
But my thing is, sis, you feel your period coming, but if you knew your period, you feel mild cramps and your period's about to come. But like, even still, like, your titties tender. You know your period schedule unless it came early. But if in your 30s, you know when your period comes. It's like, it ain't irregular. It's regular as hell. It's rearing the end of your period days. Like, you know your period coming. So why would you plan to wear all white? Like, if I got somewhere to be, I know my period coming. I was like, I ain't wearing white for this whole 2-week period because ain't no telling when sis gonna want to show up. Well, but they had her wrapped like a burrito on that gurney, and I was screaming.
Can exercise like stimulate your period earlier?
Some things can, like sex, can knock your period on earlier. And yeah. I would imagine that running and that constant bouncing probably like knock the period down too. So, I mean, that's possible, but still hilarious. But her period is still close enough to.
She should have taken precaution. Wearing all white.
Right. Like sometimes, even if I'm wearing all white, I still try to like put a tampon on just in case. Like I know it ain't come on in 2 weeks, but just in case. You gotta learn your period. You gotta learn your body, which is hilarious.
She said, it got me before I could get it. It was a red wedding before I knew it.
And then I heard Tiffany annoying ass. Like, when she was like, I got my period. She's like, oh, can't relate. I was like, okay, bitch. You missed one period.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, that was what it was. I was like, okay.
And she was like, well, Auntie Kelly, da-da-da. And Kelly's like, ooh, baby Dubois. And, that's the way we kind of come to the realization, like, oh, like.
She's pregnant.
Yeah, she's pregnant. And Derek tells us that, like, they had been trying and clearly they were unsuccessful. But when they went to Issa's Wine down at the beginning of the season, they got high and they just made the baby.
Right.
And so, so they, that was kind of how that came about. And I wish kind of they would have shown some of their marital struggles of trying to get pregnant, and like how that took a strain on their relationship.
But we were talking about like no one on the show has kids.
Yeah, you said it. So now, and so that's always going, because I know a couple people in my life have kids, and so that always makes you reflect, like, dang, folks out here having whole babies, and like. We still arguing over what movie we gonna see tonight,
Right. At the Red Box at Walgreens, arguing down. So and then Issa's because Tiffany's like, look at you, Kelly. Look at you, Molly. And Issa.
This is the second time she's done that this season.
Like, don't fucking play with me. I don't know why they still friends. I would have been cussed out. But Issa's like, well, I'm moving. And they were like, oh.
Oh, but real quick, Issa sees at the finish line, she sees Lawrence picking up and loving on Aparna after they completed that marathon.
Bitch. Mm-hmm. We seen them.
Just loving on each other. So when Issa says I'm moving, we flash to a scene of Frida moving a box across a desk, and we see the Hispanic students from East 41st Street in the We Got Y'all office having a session.
Right, they're all studying, and then what's her name? Joyce? Is that the boss name?
Yes.
Joyce pulls her to the side, like, "Oh my God, this is so great." And then Issa eventually tells her what the problems with VP Gaines and why they're having, weekend sessions with the Hispanic kids. Excuse me, the Hispanic kids, because he's a racist. And she's like, "This could be a lawsuit. Why didn't you tell me this before? I didn't see this in the notes." And like a bitch said last week, I said a bitch job could be in jeopardy over this VP Gaines shit. I told y'all niggers. Anyway, so Issa's boss was like, that we may not have you in the field if you are, causing these types of issues and not reporting them and stuff. We could have, nipped this in the bud, basically.
Yeah.
So that was a mess. And
just real quick, I want to point out, her boss said, so we're having segregated We Got You All sessions.
She said that?
Yeah, she said.
I thought she said y'all. I didn't notice that.
She said we got you all, not y'all.
That's funny.
So after that, we go to Issa's house where they're watching. Once again, we see the pack of Kelly, her, and Molly watching Due North. We see some of Due North, and then after it's over, they talk about Tiffany being dramatic with her pregnant ass, and I wanted to point out there was a theory that Tiffany not being at Issa's may because she's cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's the case. I feel like if we think about kind of in each segment, they were dropping hints that she was pregnant. So her not being there because she's pregnant was really, I felt like she wasn't there because she was pregnant and like she wasn't filling up to it. And so like that was really just what they were hinting at, because in Lawrence's scene, we see them congratulating Derek. In Molly's scene, we see like, ooh, Tiffany's being difficult, and we hear at the race like, oh, but we, it was good. There's a good reason why we're late, and and then at the end, then in Issa's scenes, we find out it's because she's pregnant.
But my thing, no, I feel like I forgot which, because the Due North scenes, they start, the Molly and Issa Due North scenes run together for me. But I can't remember what part was said with whose. But what I will say is it's so many question marks with Tiffany and Derek's relationship that's not completely off the table, because now we learned about the nigga at the job. We don't know why this nigga was staying at a hotel last year. Like, it's a lot of like, and then why does Tiffany act so fucking uppity all the time, like everything's perfect, when it's clearly not? Because she was like, and we don't need to talk about that because it's over and blah blah blah. Because like, maybe, because before maybe she was trying to, you know, not incriminate Derek, but maybe she wasn't trying to incriminate herself.
Well, I more so think it's because she got all these little single friends that they can't keep a man. So as a married woman, I just know that I'm not going to tell y'all all my business about my marriage, because at the end of the day, if my husband and I, we made a stronger commitment. We're going to try to work some things out. If we have to separate and do all this, y'all just not going to know, because I don't want y'all holding that over us, over him, or, you know, or convincing.
You can't tell your friends everything a man does, clearly.
No, especially like in this case, she's the only married one. So the way they look at relationships and the way they have to look at their commitments is very different.
Yeah, because even then it was like should I fuck Derek? Would I fuck Derek? You know what I'm saying? Like, then because they're the only married people they know. So when they hear stuff about married couples, they compare it to Tiffany and Derek.
Exactly. And so Issa says, hey, now that that's can y'all help me pack my valuables? And Tiffany or Kelly and Molly laugh like, B, what valuables? And so they start helping her pack her stuff. And she's like, you know, so have you hit up this girl about where you're going to live? She's like, ooh, excuse me, y'all. Issa goes, ew. Issa goes, no, I really want to live by myself. Kelly goes, bitch, where?
You ain't got no money. She's like, I'm sorry, but a bitch try, bitch.
And they kind of go through the dilemma of that, you know, Issa really doesn't have much money from her job. She can't stay in this apartment, not, you know, in part because, you know, it was where she had a relationship with Lawrence, but at the same time, she can't afford the rent increase.
Really can't.
You know, so now for her she can't live in Los Angeles that is convenient to her job and everything. Because the area that was bad and affordable is now being gentrified. So, you know, either she's going to have to stay out in the burbs or the boondocks.
Somewhere super far.
Or, you know, she's going to have to make some more money. And then Molly says, well, maybe you should sell some stuff. And so then we go back to Issa's job, where we find out Frida got the promotion at work. And
I could have sworn that Issa got the promotion. Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Like some couple episodes ago. What were they announcing then? I'm trying to figure out.
No, they were just having a retreat. And they were, like, talking about it. And she was like, you know, this is going to help me in making my decision about the promotion.
Oh, okay.
All the other people were giving terrible answers, but Issa and Frida.
Right. And then they were the two top contenders. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool,
Issa probably was the number one contender, especially what she was doing at East 41st in terms of taking that program from not having anyone to having, like, it's being, like, really filled. But the moment, you know, she told her boss that it was segregated and that, you know, they had to have these extra sessions.
Her fault.
Yeah, you know, she kind of lost that promotion. And so after that, you know, Issa says, hey, can I take you for a drink? And she's like, oh, yeah, we go to this place in Iwood. And she's like, ooh, Frida's like, ooh, I'm sorry. I won't call it that.
And she looked at her like, I know you did not just call it Iwood.
Right. And so then we see Issa's having a garage sale. And her brother,
funny acting ass brother.
Her brother's there. He's being real extra. He's like, how you gonna sell this minivac without the power cord? Which is true. Like, what? Like, I can't use this.
True.
And then we see our favorite Blood Yoda asking about the Thug Yoda, Blood Yoda,
It's Thug Yoda.
It's Thug Yoda.
Yes, it's always been Thug Yoda.
It's not Blood Yoda.
I'm positive it's Thug Yoda.
Well, we know who we talking about. The neighbor who...
I know who I'm talking about. I don't know who you're talking about.
No, the neighbor who only
Thug
speaks
Yoda with his beautiful little girl. And he asked about the brock pot. And then he's like, tell him your favorite soup, baby girl. She's like, cauliflower soup. And she's like, oh, that's upsetting. Right. And then when they walked away, she was like, good luck, girl.
Right. And she asked for $10 for the brock pot. He said, I got $5 in the EBT barred. And the brother was like, sold. EBT EBT bar, for those who are uninitiated, that's a food stamps.
EBT card, yes.
Yeah. So she's selling stuff, and and then her
well, no, they was talking about a mustard stained blanket that her brother was like, why are you selling that? And then some old man was like, I like the way it smells, I'll take the blanket. She's like, I'm making money already.
And then Neighbor Bay walks up. Well, Neighbor Bay and his economics bay walk up, and she has to take her shoe off because there's a rock in there, and she sits on Issa's couch that she has out there. And he's like, oh, man, Issa, you moving? She's like, yeah. He's like,
dang, I was using your Wi-Fi. The way he said it was so funny. And she was like, oh, I figured it was going pretty slow. And then economics bay was like, how much for this couch? And then she looked at the couch, and then it's like all the memories came flooding in. And that was a brand new couch, honestly. Like, why would you try to sell that anyway? It was like 6 months old, if that.
Yeah. And so Issa called. So after that, we see Issa's back in her apartment with the couch, with only the couch, in just her packed panties and a t-shirt. And we see she's calling Lawrence. We're assuming this is the call that she left, that Lawrence got at the beginning of the episode while he was with a partner in the car.
Right.
So she's like, hey, Lawrence, like, I'm moving. I thought you should know, I thought you should have the couch, because they split the payment for the couch.
Yeah, he paid for the couch, and then we know from the conversation he was having with Fake Ass Maya earlier, when she was like, how did you buy speakers before you bought a couch? Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have a couch, so he really does need a couch. Right.
And so things really, worked out very well. And she told him, like, hey, I'll be going from 2 to 6. You don't have to see me if you want to come and get it. Okay, bye. And so after that, we see she's riding with her brother, about to go do the walkthrough for her apartment to leave. And he's laying out the ground rules. And in this time, we confirm, that he's gay. He says, no niggas in the house unless I'm fucking them.
Which it was like, oh, cool, confirmation, boom. Because I spotted the glitter from episode 1. I was like, this nigga gay, but I'll wait. And then it got confirmed. I was like, oh.
And then he told her friends, he said no shoes in his house. He don't have no carpet. He told her friends can't use his shower. And so she's like, you being extra.
And then Kelly got to have a muzzle when she come in. You can't forget that part.
And she's like, you being extra for no reason, and you can tell this is already the start of a contentious living situation.
But my thing is, I hate when niggas is extra as fuck when, like, you come in their space, or like they helping you with something. Like, you ain't gotta be extra like that. Or like when you get in somebody's car and they want to be like a whole dictator and shit. Like, oh, don't touch my windows, don't touch my radio, don't do this, don't get in the front of my car, don't eat my car. Like, okay, bitch, like, we riding together, we carpooling, you ain't gotta do all that. Like, you dictator in the air, it's 80 degrees outside, you got it 96 degrees inside the car. Nigga, it's hot, put the air on. This is my car, and I'm gonna do what I want with my car. I paid it. Okay, you got it.
I don't know, I could be like that sometimes. Like, I got my car detailed one time, and my girl wanted to eat in it. I'm like, babe, I just got it detailed. Like, we not
well, it's one thing to eat. Okay, eating is one thing. Okay, like, new car, crumbs, roaches, whatever. But, like, when you dictatoring, this is something personal, because somebody does it to me all the time, and it pisses me off. Like,
your sister?
I can't touch the window. Yes. Yep. And it pisses me off every time, because she be like, she's always cold, even when it's hot outside. And I'm always hot. And she legit has the heat on in the summer. I'm like, bitch, I'm hot. I'm not finna pull up sweaty and musty to this event because you cold. Like, nigga, turn the air on. So when she not looking, I be turning it down. Because anybody got time for that. So when she in my car, because Lola has amenities, she can have her heat on her side, and I can have my air on my side, and we can just be happy. And that's how it is.
Dual air.
Right.
So then,
but yeah, he was extra as hell.
Right, and we can tell, like, this is gonna be a situation. So, Issa's walking back to her apartment, and the same white men that we saw,
yeah, she said it was 10 minutes.
Yeah,
she's gonna do a last walkthrough.
And we saw the same white men that were walking to the pool when Lawrence came. We see them now leaving the pool, and they're showing her walking up to her apartment, and she goes in and she discovers that Lawrence is there, and she's like, "You waited for me?" He was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "What happened?" Looking at the ceiling, where both there's a fire spot and probably some wine from when she threw the wine up there. And she was like, I lost control one night. And she was like, why'd you stay? He was like, well, I wanted to talk. I didn't like the way we ended.
Which is big. I like that.
And he was like, I just feel like I've been fucking up everything. She's like, well, you came to the right spot. And, and I don't know if he fully understood the joke. He chuckled a little bit, but like, he doesn't know everything that's been going on in her life. But, it's like, hey, you're at the center of fucking everything up, so welcome home. And they get into a very, very emotional.
Ooh, it took me out, honestly. I was in tears.
This is, some people, this scene is what we were all waiting for all season long. This scene was so powerful. I thought it was so well shot, so well acted.
All the Emmys, all the Golden Globes, all of the everythings. I need Soul Train Awards. I need NAACP Awards.
T Awards.
I need BET Awards. I need shit, whatever.
And so Lawrence starts. He says, I want to apologize. She's like, no, I don't even. He was like, no, let me finish. And he just talks about how, sometimes he sets these expectations for himself. And when he doesn't live up to them, he shuts down. And we kind of get why he went to that depression during Woo Woo, because it didn't take off like he thought, or it was harder than he thought. And I'm going to just be honest with you. Oh, okay. And then I'm going to be honest with you. As a black male, especially how I am, I know exactly how Lawrence felt. I thought that, like you said, that was a word. Like I said, the acting here was like, ooh, Lord. Wow.
Especially for the target audience and where we all genuinely are in life, we are related to that. Like, we all are trying to get somewhere, and we feel a way we don't get that. Yep. And we, this is real. And especially in a relationship, you feel like you have to be something for someone else.
Yep.
So,
because we've oftentimes kind of sold ourselves as this, or packaged ourselves as this to this person. Mm-hmm. And if you've been, like, they were together 5 years, living together. So, that package that he sold himself as, she clearly knew that was not 100% him, and she has met the real him, but he was disappointed in that. And he said, I'm sorry for not being who you expected me to be. I'm sorry for not being who I expected me to be. Mm-hmm. And then Issa apologizes, and she said, she wanted to be better for him, because of him. She said she depended on him to be better for both of them. And when he went through his depression, she couldn't handle it. Oof. He was like, but what could you have done? She was like, I could have done more. She didn't know how to be better for herself. She needed to be better, but she didn't know how to be better for herself. And Lawrence, like, same. I didn't know how to be better for me.
I feel like both of them just needed to just take... this conversation should have been had after he missed her birthday. Or not even before he missed her birthday, honestly, because she cheated on him in episode 1. But anyway, go ahead.
And then he says, and then she goes into the cheating. He was like, no, you don't have to. She was like,
please don't, reopening wounds and such.
Right. And she was like, cheating on you was, what I did to you was the worst thing I could have ever done. I wish I could convince you it wasn't about you. And I felt like with that line, she really understood how much that hurt his pride and his worth.
Yeah, because it had everything to do with not necessarily spiting him, but she was with him because she was with Daniel because he wasn't Lawrence, and she saw something different in Daniel that wasn't it had everything to do with him. It had everything to do with how Lawrence made her feel, and not that she was necessarily mad at him, but it was just like wanting something else, and whew.
And I forgot to take into account, like, this is after they said those terrible things to each other. So this is really, really.
And it was really on some 80-20 shit, like on some why did I get married? Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
and she said,
he only ever loved her.
He only loved her, and wanted her to be the best, for him. No, and only wanted the best for her.
Right.
Oh no, and
he only ever loved her and only wanted the best for her. Right.
Right. And she still wants the best. She wants the best for him. She still wants the best for him. She says, I still love you so much, and he's like, I love you too. And they just
and his voice cracked when a grown man cried. Oh,
during the whole time she was apologizing, his nose was flaring, and like
it was just beautiful and just black and just.
He was on the edge of tears, and they hug, and they have one of those hugs. It's just like I don't want to leave this place right now.
And I feel like this is the first time anyone on the show was ever being an adult. This is the first time seeing actual grown-ups on this damn show having an actual grown-up conversation.
Anybody has ever been accountable for their actions?
No, seriously, literally.
And you know, and he's like, "Well, I got to get out of here."
Can we talk about the sweater before we get to the other part?
Yes.
Do you think it was ventilation in there? Like, do you think he was musty? Is he a sweater? Because I sweat, so when I see people in hot shit, I be like, I know they hot. Like,
my assumption is this is California, and California is not as hot as we think, especially like for the South.
It depends on what time of year it is, because it's definitely hot. It's hot. It's a different type of hot. It's not a moist hot.
This is during the school year because the kids are still there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like they ran a marathon.
It's still day party, so it's warm outside.
Yeah, but I felt like he could have had that could have been like a very thin sweater.
Cause she had her back out. She was going to like a baby shower or something. I don't know. Like she was about to be in the sun. So I don't know what. Or maybe they did purposely do some Carl Thomas shit. Like, cause you know with them, you never know how this symbolism.
It's funny because like this account I follow, Fat Kids Deals, they pronounce, you know, we throwing out our Best Buy polos and we're getting turtlenecks for Lawrence Hive. And so I posted a tweet on my Instagram, on my Twitter, just saying, you know, new uniform, same team, because I had a similar sweater or a similar turtleneck.
Of course you do.
Lawrence Hive all day. But anyway,
I feel like you Amazon striped sweater when the show came on. They got it to you in 15 minutes, so you could take a picture. Cause you know Amazon people like that.
Nah, it's
you know what else I thought about?
What?
The best time to wear a striped sweater.
But it wasn't striped.
Is all the time. It was like ribbed striped. One with the collar, turtleneck.
Can we get to the most riveting scene of this episode?
Cause when you're wearing
about to mute your mic.
that one special sweater. Okay, how to get the song out? You know, I have to get my songs out. You got to let me finish.
All right. So he's like, I got to get out of here. He walks out, and he's at the door, and he walks out, and he turns around, and he says, "Bye, East." You know, that was his nickname for. Well, I guess that's really everybody's nickname for. But he says, "Bye, East." And then he kind of pauses before he walks away, and he gets down on one knee and says, "I love you."
Now he's on a whole ventilator.
I can't live without you. You know, will you marry me? And Issa goes, "Oh my God, yes." And I was sitting there, and as I'm watching this, I'm like, Lawrence cannot go out like a sucker like this, dog.
Like, I was like, yes, queen. Say yes, bitch.
Because you homeless and you need a place to stay. He got a nice big 2-bedroom place that he could afford all by himself.
Yep.
And I'm like, dog, you can't go out like no sucker. Like, yes, y'all had a good, you know, apology and conversation that was needed, but you got to give it some breathing room. You know, this is a highly emotional moment right now. And then Issa kind of stares at the camera, and we get we come to realization like, oh, this isn't real. Like, this is a dream sequence.
I still was buying it. I'm sorry. Like, I was into it. I was like, oh my God, yes, queen, please. We got a whole montage. She had a nice little, a couple packs of hair in the back of her head, and they had a wedding. They get on the couch. Then he giving her some good Tasha level strokes, but with more passion, more love in the strokes. But he was in there. That's not how he was hunching in the beginning of last season. And definitely was that 19-second shit from the first episode. It was real girthy strokes. And then we saw her pregnant. I was like, yes. Then they brought the chocolate baby. Oh, and then the baby, Jesus.
Wait. So he kissed her belly, which I thought, that was dope. When he brings the baby in, he has the dad fade. It was like, so like he had basically his same haircut, but instead of the twist, he had the mature, like, Frank Mitchell, but lower.
No, he ain't had no Frank Mitchell. The Frank Mitchell was a damn helmet.
No. Go back and look. He had a Frank Mitchell, but lower. but lower. Because it wasn't the twisty like we wearing. It's basically the same like little level, but just picked out. And I'm like, my father had that same haircut when my brother and I were young. And he's really embracing his dad's side. And I loved it. And this whole dream sequence is going on as Daniel Caesar's Blessed is playing in the background. And when I tell you, I'm not even going to front y'all. The second time I watched it, I shed a tear.
I was crying. I had a full tissue snot. Like, it was beautiful because I've been really rooting for them to get back together this whole season, honestly. Because I'm like, y'all are both trash and y'all love each other, so be together. But, you know, someone on the timeline said being in love, like, love is not enough. And I was like, damn, that's real. Like, just because you love somebody don't mean that y'all need to be together.
But how we find out this is a dream sequence is she looks back to close the door, like after they brought the baby in, and we see current day Lawrence.
And he's like by East again.
Yeah.
He was really crying though. If you look, like the little reflection show. Oh, God. When a man cries, man, that man cried. And we ain't gonna ignore that Lawrence is a lot of man too. I'm sorry, I'm watching it, so I'm just like commenting on what I see. Hold on. Oh,
so God. She closes the door and you know, kind of sinks to the floor. But then her brother calls her, and she was like, it's been more than 10 minutes.
Your time been up. I was like,
right.
This nigga.
But what I just wanted to comment on, you know, and I stated this in Struggle Bus Chronicles before that, I had a breakup, you know, years ago. That was a difficult one. We were together for 5 years. We had lived together at one point.
I do see that, Fate. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yep. And, you know, this scene, I mean, it was, from my experience, it was so true to life in terms of, you know, you have that one really good apology. You leave feeling better. You feel, you know, in some, and not in all relationships will you get this type of closure, but, you know, sometimes, like, when you really been together a long time and really loved each other, you will allow each other to get that type of closure. And, you know, when she had that whole fantasy sequence, it was like, when Lawrence says bye, she's saying bye to all of the things she's envisioned for their life together. For the wedding, for the sex, for the, you know, pregnancy, for the child, the children.
Little baby. Oh, God.
You know, the whole life that they, you know, like, I don't know, sometimes, maybe just me, you know, I think about, you know, being married with kids is kind of, you're at a place in life where life is just a little more meaningful each day. Because you have someone that you've made a commitment to go through it with, and then you also have people that are counting on you and that, you know, bring out the best of you and reflect a little bit of you, you know, that you've created with someone you love. And, you know, that's why this scene was so heavy, was like, she's got to let all that go because they're breaking up. And
my heart.
Yeah, I don't think there was a dry eye in around the world. I think as iconic,
felt something. If you was Issa Hive, Lawrence Hive, Tasha Hive, Chad Hive, like you felt this.
I think as iconic as those backstrokes were last year for the season finale, this dream sequence was even more iconic.
I don't know now. It just didn't make me feel the way them backstrokes did, but Jesus. It was, I felt something, but just not the same. Anyway.
But let's wrap this up because
we here for a minute.
Almost an hour and a half. But you know, so at the end, after all this, we see Issa and Molly. They have a Moroccan night. They had talked about going to Morocco earlier in the year. And you know, Issa broke self, can't afford it. So Molly said, we're going to get some Moroccan outfits. We're going to order some Moroccan food. I'm going to decorate my house. And some Moroccan wine.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really nice. Because Molly could have went by herself, but she decided to bring it to her apartment.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, it's really, at this time, it's probably really the pick-me-up that Issa needs. So once they eat and they giggle and all this, and Issa's preparing to leave for the weekend, and Molly's like, you sure you don't want to live with me? She was like, nah, girl, I got it. and she goes and gets in her lift, and in her lift she sees that she has a friend request from Lawrence Walker.
Growth. You know what that is? Growth.
So he's unblocked her. He's sent her another friend request. Molly's cleaning up, and then we see that she puts on some lingeries.
She had several, and she was like, which one should I kill him with?
Right. Because she showed us a preview of like 2 or 3 outfits. That wasn't even the final one she went with.
Yeah, so she had plenty. Like, bitch, did you just go shopping for a bunch of lingerie? And we trying to figure out who she getting fined for.
Right. And she goes to the door, and we see.
As soon as I saw that elbow, I knew it before it even got to
we see light skin elbow, 6'8".
I saw that elbow, and I was like, my God. Molly haven't learned a thing.
Jaw drop. And Molly's like, I got something for you.
And he bit that lip. I said, whew. That nigga 6'8", so I can't even. I mean,
and Molly probably rolled that man ragged. You know, honestly, I don't believe they're using condoms anymore. That's just me.
Honestly, yeah. I mean,
Tiffany
gonna be the only person having a baby shower next season, because
she gonna put on her good lingerie for condom sex.
Ain't no that ain't no condom sex outfit. That's a raw outfit. You gonna do all that, then and pause and hold on, let me put the condom on. Hold on. Okay.
Right.
No. You just slide that to the side, baby. No. That is a raw outfit. Oh,
I said that Moroccan stuff she had, I said she probably gonna do a belly dance for Dro later, using all that decoration.
Just nothing but lust. And we'll see that nigga in town again. Must be the weekend.
Right.
It's been a hard day of being 6'8" all day.
Woo. Hard day of being 6'8", baby.
The air thin down up here, so I gotta get what I can. So I gotta lay in your bed and fuck you, so get some lower air pressure. Yeah, and then we're trying to figure out where Issa's going.
Mm-hmm. I assumed she was going to her brother's house, because that's who she.
I mean, that's what we thought her arrangement was, but that nigga's funny acting as hell, and it turns out that she is at Daniel's house. After she cussed him. It's literally so many other places that she could have stayed. But she gets to Daniel's house, and she's like, I'm sleeping on the couch. He was like, oh, I know. He said bitch in his head. I know he did.
Right.
She gonna wake up, and he gonna be jacking off of her face to nothing high. You're not gonna cuss me out, then ask to stay with me. But he better than me for even letting her stay. They just all a mess. And I was just so disappointed, because I'm like, we sat here for 8 episodes. 4 hours and 15 minutes of show, just for these bitches to have taken 2 steps back from where they was the first episode. Y'all worse off. Y'all didn't learn shit, and y'all 30.
Man, so all right, let me talk about Molly first. So part of me thinks that maybe Molly is balancing Dro and Quinn, and like, because Dro, she knows she can only get dick from him. But like Quinn provides, career support, just good encouragement, so maybe she'll just hunch him every couple of months to keep him around for that. But she's really getting dick down consistently by Dro, putting on, like I said, good lingerie. I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
So remember we saw in Molly's section that she was in bed and she got a call from Issa, and she was like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was after we saw Dro come in? Because the assumption was that,
what?
Okay, that's probably, all right, remember at the end of Molly's section,
mm-hmm.
she is in bed, clearly just after having sex.
Mm-hmm.
There's wine glasses and a Magnum condom, on the dresser. She gets a call from Issa.
Mm-hmm.
When she picks up the phone, she says, "Oh, what happened?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm asking, we don't see, and so we never find out like what that conversation came after.
No, it matched up with the last scene of Lawrence's 30 days, the last scene of Molly's 30 days, and the last scene of Issa's 30 days. And then, like, the Moroccan scene, I guess, is day 31, basically. So that was after after Lawrence came over.
But I felt like after Morocco, that's when we see Dro.
After Morocco is when we see Dro, yeah. But that's not.
That's not when the phone call takes place?
No. That's not. Because it's like the timelines mesh into one at that point. After, yeah, like I said, that's day 31. Because there's nothing she's saying like, bitch, what happened to after Morocco? Like, what, bitch, we were just together. You would have told me this. Like,
well, maybe she didn't tell her she was staying at Daniel's.
But still, because she didn't go to Daniel's house till after we know that Joe came. You know? Either way, she was bitch what happened into the Lawrence conversation.
Oh, okay. So that was my only theory. And then Issa. Issa is a hobosexual, as the Issa Hive like to call people.
The tables have turned, Jesus, my goodness.
And we predicted this, didn't we?
We did. I said this. I said that she was going to be in Lawrence's shoes.
Yep.
Put me on payroll, Issa.
And, yeah, man. So the fact that she's staying at Daniel's, I have to ask two questions. I don't know if y'all remember at the garage sale, her brother was like, what day you moving in? He's like, when you moving in? She was like, in 4 days. He's like, I thought you meant 5. Mm-hmm. Is it possible she's only staying there for a night?
Possibly, because he probably, well, you ain't staying because I got somebody coming over on day 4, so you need to come on day 5.
Right.
Which is possible because he is funny acting.
Right. Or is she, because she didn't have enough, we didn't see her with enough in her hand.
Yeah.
For that to,
but another thing is she just spent the night at Molly's house too. So that could have been.
But for her to say, for her to, once he answers the door and say, I'm sleeping on the couch, it's like y'all would have had to have already discussed that if I had moved stuff in already. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
But I think this is just for a day thing, but they kind of showing us that they're back on good terms. Because if she's staying with Daniel, I don't think there's any hope of her and Lawrence ever getting back together.
But my thing is, why do you have to stay with Daniel? Like, you could stay with Molly, like we said.
Well, Molly has some dick coming over.
Well, yeah, like she will be displaced once Dro came. That's probably something that she brought into. And then if she's staying with Daniel, he can't have other bitches over. So it's kind of like a surveillance thing.
He can. He just have to be like.
I'm sure Kelly's house is fun. I know she cook.
You could probably her and Sweetie over there.
Adjust the light. Well, everybody's getting dick or vagina somewhere. So she got to pick her poison. Unless you want to stay with Frida and watch Ava DuVernay movies all day. Yeah. Nah. But yeah, the season overall, it was not. I feel like this was just the falling action and the resolution to season 1, because it wasn't like I said last episode. There hasn't been a major climax. It's been like big events, but not major climaxes as like how she cheated on him last season, or just the whole blow up and the whole everything. So.
I would say that it's probably been more. It's been more rising action on Molly's character and her development.
Mm-hmm. Well, she ain't really developed shit, so she kind of been.
Well, I'm just saying, like we
evolving
go from her being, from being so man thirsty, and like
to just
every
nigga for one nigga.
She got to a point where she made a crucial decision that is going to affect her from here on out, and that was the decision to sleep with Dro.
Well, she got 2 bodies this season. She had 3 last season, so it's not like she's doing that much better. But just bring Jared back. Hell, he like women.
Or no, my man Lionel, and
that's another thing. She must not really not like Lionel because she didn't even Lionel because she ain't hunch him or nothing.
I ain't give him no pause to the pussy.
No pause. But yeah, in all, I feel like a lot of people complaining and saying it was lame or whatever. This finale, I guess in comparison to last finale, which was like really broke the internet, because if you think about it, people wasn't really watching Insecure like that. There was no live tweeting or nothing, but that finale made more fans than anything, and people went back and watched.
Very true. Yeah.
So
there's so many people hopped on the wave after that
finale, yeah, because people were like, what are y'all watching? What is this GIF from? What is that? And the back shots scene is really what made Insecure like pop.
That will go down in history.
Yeah, it really did, because that is what garnered so many people to go back and watch it, because a lot of people didn't have HBO. I know I was one of the people who watched it originally because I was like so excited, and then it was free that weekend, and then I didn't have the channel, so I had to get the app and catch up. And then when the finale came on, but yeah, because we're expecting such a bomb like it was last season. I feel like this episode was necessary. It was definitely necessary, and it was kind of a closure for the audience too, with just the whole, because it really, I mean, I guess Issa being now homeless and couch surfing is, our L, but it wasn't like any relationship related L's taken, so it was kind of like a truce between Issa and Lawrence.
I mean, so one, I want to say that Issa gave an interview in where she said the actress that played Tasha, Dominique, told her, like, girl, this is my monsters ball, like,
yeah,
I'm happy that I could.
I saw that too.
Yeah, and then two, in life, Issa is holding all the L's. Lawrence
is insecure as hell. He is never gonna probably.
But he has a job. He has a roof over his head. He has a nice couch. He has a big TV. He can get women. He can, he's in a secure place where he can grow out of that insecurity. Issa really can't start dealing with, herself as a person until she gets stable in life.
I think they're both kind of in the same boat. Because if you think about Lawrence,
you're not going to do this.
Lawrence really out here just bagging bitches. Like, okay, he got Tasha because that wasn't really a hard bag. Because he saw her all the time because he was going to the bank. And she was easily impressed because this nigga in college and don't have kids. So, boom. And
look,
she had
you're not going to convince me.
Then we had the two white bitches. He was used. He was a pawn in their sexual conquest mission. A partner likes work dick, so that wasn't a compliment either. So it's not like he out here just big L out in the streets. Nigga, no, like
nah. See, look, you
he has a decent stroke game.
Explaining thing, you doing that woman?
No, like you up here making it seem like Lawrence is the man. He's really not. Like they both fucking
Lawrence. No. Lawrence is. I'm just saying, Lawrence is in a secure place. I think after this conversation with Issa, he now has the closure and healing that he needs, where he can truly move on. And like, if I advise him to wait a month or two, and the next relationship he gets into, that could be his wife. So this whole conversation, by my estimates, probably takes place 5 to 6 months after their breakup.
We'll see. Which is still pretty fresh to get in a new relationship, honestly, especially after 5 years. But
true. So maybe he waits 6 more months. But his next, he's in a place. He's in a place where his next relationship can be his wife. I think Issa, she can't even think about a next relationship until she gets a roof over her head.
I'm sorry, but wasn't Lawrence thinking about bullshit when he didn't have a roof over his head? I'm confused. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and do this shit with you. We can talk about it in the next podcast.
All right, because you're wrong.
But maybe you're wrong. So, Due North, if you sit and watch the Due North season afterwards, that shit was hilarious. Did you watch it?
Yes.
I hate slavery.
Honestly, like, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't a huge fan of Due North, but that line alone, it's like, okay, like, because I was disappointed. I wanted to wind down.
Oh, true, but I thought it was hilarious.
No, but when him saying I hate slavery alone, that made me say, you know what, I'm cool without having to wind down.
And fun fact, Natasha Rothwell, aka Kelly, wrote Due North, which is great. Yeah. And then I read an article about it. It was like the show within the show is a spoof between Scandal and Underground, which is great. It's great.
But I'm gonna be honest with you though, if you watch Dear White People, the series, I felt like they did it better.
They did have a good show within the show, but it was one show within the show, and it was no telling to
so outlandish.
Yeah, but I thought they were both funny. I enjoyed both of them. They had several shows within the show, and they did it last season too. So it wasn't like they copied Dear White People.
What was the show within the show last year?
Lock Up Abroad. Remember they was all watching the woman in jail.
Oh dang! I gotta go back and watch it now.
Yeah.
I play now that I'm going to go back and watch Game of Thrones. I'm going to go back and watch all of Insecure now and cry again. Because that scene, I don't care. That scene was really well done. And I'm going to go back and watch all of Power.
Oh, you got a lot
this
of time
winter. Well, this winter. I'm in Chicago now. So, like, it's no more like, oh, it's winter. I can still make moves. It's like,
I'm in the house.
You know how cold it is outside?
Right. Okay, well, we're going to talk about it more on our next podcast, like the show as a whole and everything. So we're going to end this because we've been here for a minute. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you share, like, whatever, comment, retweet at Issa, hashtag Bouch Bommentary. Make sure you tweet about it, all of that.
See you all for season 3.
All right. Bye. Guys.